Hello everybody. So I got what I think is really bullish news on ASM. 3 things. First, unrelated thing. I apologize for the voice. I woke up this morning with it. I feel fine. We'll see how we do next 24 hours. But I will try to talk a little slower and more clear because I understand it sounds kind of shitty right now. So what's going on with ASM? First thing, the LCX exchange listing, it's official, it's up. So awesome sauce, right? We were waiting for this clarity of just when LCX was going to officially post it because they started another vote to put in another crypto, and a lot of us were like, what the hell, guys? But that's official and that's launched. So with that being said, I already saw somebody comment, JTP, about how it hasn't turned yet into any price action. I wouldn't have expected it to, right? You always want it to right away, but I expect it to be more of a delayed thing. LCX is a smaller listing, and ACM is it's a micro cap. It's a tiny crypto overall. So most people will not jump in and ape in with thousands of dollars, let alone tens of thousands of dollars, right? It's more of one that most people put in a couple hundred at most. And people will tend to buy more of the coins they already own, more than just buying a new position, buying a new position, buying a new position. So with the LCX exchange, it's more people now of a specific market that can buy ASM pretty easily. And I'm going to be keeping track of how many holders there are, because if we get an extra 1,000 holders, even if that's only, let's say, an extra 20 grand or whatever that goes into the TVL, that's still an extra 1,000 holders that are more likely to buy more, right? A lot of us who buy a crypto DCA, which means if we have some more money into it, we're going to be adding more money into it. So last I looked, I think there was 6,313. Don't hold me to it. I have it written down somewhere. But that was the number of holders. So in the next month, I'm going to be keeping track to go ahead and see, are we increasing? I'm suspecting we will. So that's the first decently big thing. Second one, all right, this is almost of a nothing burger, but it's more of, hey, remember this, guys. This was probably about a month and a half, 2 months ago at this point. There was Assemble AI announced that there's going to be a large announcement coming from the European market that has to deal with exchanges and banks. And they were waiting to be able to release the news. They followed up on it. They announced that there was a delay. All right. They're still working on it, and they won't get me privy to the information. Right? With that being said, I have a theory as to what it is. I made a video about it, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, when my voice did not sound like I am, having a constant hairball in my fucking throat. But I'll have that link of the video put down below for more details. But in short, I'm suspecting, with a little bit of hopium, that it is a neobank deal. And in the video, I explain a lot more in detail as to what a neobank is. And in short, think of it as like a crypto bank, where they do a little bit of both. And they would pair very well with everything that Assemble AI does with their NS3 app for advertising exchanges in crypto and having companies pay to advertise the journal entries even more. So there'll be a link for the details I gave on that previously. That is unofficial, just to clarify. That is what I'm speculating the news is. And they did clarify with me that when they announced the news about the European market, they said it is notably larger than the LCX listing, which is great. So we know that at the very least, it is better than that, and that's still good news, right? So I'm holding on to that. Lastly, this is the one that really got me excited because this is something very tangible that I know what it can mean for the next 3 months and stuff down the road. So us in the ASM community has been really wanting some sort of deal with COINBASE or the Base ecosystem, right? We know that the Assemble AI has a data sharing partnership with Binance. And that's lovely, right? Because ASM is all about collecting information about crypto to make articles. When ASM moved on to the Base ecosystem, this was great news because it increased the likelihood that they're going to get some sort of deal with Coinbase or Base in general. And a little snippet that was announced, and it didn't click to me how big of a deal this is that Coinbase is doing a lot of changes. If you followed anything going on with Aerodrome or any of the videos I've done about Aerodrome, Coinbase is not rebranding, but they're doing a lot with their app. The Coinbase app will still soon be called Base app. And the short version, you can watch mine and other YouTubers' videos about this for more details. But JP Morgan threw in several $100 million into it. Coinbase or Base app, Coinbase Alpha, whatever we're calling it this week. They're bringing in a bunch of businesses that are going to be able to invest into crypto through the Base app. They're going to be able to pay companies, pay their employees, and other random invoices of business through the Base app. So most of this will probably be USDC, but it's still money that goes through. And this is a big deal to me as an Aerodrome investor because of the direct ties with that. So what the hell does that have to do with ASM? So Coinbase, is part of their Base app upgrades, they're making a full trading platform, including things like leverage trading and liquidity pools. And they are putting priority on everything that's on the Base ecosystem, which ASM is. So ASM will be available in the near future to do liquidity pools with USDC. This is not the big exciting news, though I'll be doing that 100%. I love liquidity pools. It allows me to print off free crypto just by putting it in a slightly different place with a minute increase in risk. If you're not familiar with liquidity pools, I can always do a video about it if you're interested. But the part that really got me, and this is what has me excited, is that the NS3 app for ASM, that if you guys don't use it, I recommend you take a look into it because you can earn points to convert into free ASM tokens just by taking little quizzes on the abstracts of crypto journals or crypto article entries. Pretty much you read 5 or 6 sentences, take a multi-question or multi-answer quiz, and you get a few points. What ASM has now done is that is going to go be a mini app on the Base app. Let me emphasize what the hell that means, guys. Everyone who has Coinbase on their phone, under Coinbase app, will soon have NS3 right on there. You'll be able to take the NS3 quizzes to earn free ASM on the Coinbase app, which means they now have a working partnership. They now have the mini app is going to go on to Coinbase. So everyone who's on Coinbase app on their phone or on their desktop is now going to have direct access to everything ASM does. That is probably the biggest advertising we can have, is Coinbase having a mini app of ASM. Right? I do not necessarily expect this to make an immediate price action because people have to hear about it, but people are going to hear about it without knowing jack shit about the crypto because it's going to be there as a mini app where people are like, oh, I can get free crypto. The free crypto I get is called ASM. We now have someone else who knows about it. Do you have any idea how many millions of people have Coinbase app? All right. This is really big to me. Let me know what you guys think. Is this as exciting to you as it is to me? Right? I would say I would get excited, shout, and lose my voice, but obviously that ship has already fucking sailed. But let me know what your thoughts are about this, guys. Let me know what you think about the LCX listing. And if you haven't seen the video that, I'll say this for the 3rd time, so I remember to put it down in the description, and probably as a pinned comment, about my thoughts as to what the European market news is going to be that involves banks and exchanges. Let me know your thoughts on that, guys. ASM, I'm getting more and more confident, is actually a hidden gem, right? Everyone says that shit, right? If it's a micro cap, or even if it's like just under $1 billion market cap, it's a hidden gem, right? I've always seen ASM as a moderate risk, high reward play because it's a micro cap with real world use, and it targets corporations more than retail, which I like. But now if they've got a working relationship of having their app pinned into COINBASE app, it's a hidden gem, guys. This shit could explode. Let me know your comments down below. Peace.